Oh, hello everybody. This is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today we are going to make a beautiful autumn arrangement using some flowers that we got in this week. We got in some calla lilies and some red roses, some blue thistle, hydrangeas, and millet. And I am so excited to see how this turns out. Watch as we put this arrangement together. Today I am going to work with this beautiful amber colored vase. It's kind of a rectangle vase. And it's just a really pretty amber color that I thought would be perfect for fall. We're going to start out with some hydrangeas in our container. Now these are very white hydrangeas, so we're going to tint them green. This is a Just for Flower tint. It's actually a transparent flower dye, and this is called Fresh Green. So for me personally, I don't love using a lot of white with autumn colors. Autumn tends to be almost jewel toned, right? It's purples and oranges and reds and blues. And so I prefer not to use white with autumn. So I am going to tint my white hydrangeas this fresh green. So I'm just taking this paint or dye and I'm hitting my hydrangea, just painting my hydrangea green. Anytime your hydrangea has like a little spot, go ahead and pull that off. It's not going to hurt the flower at all. Now we here at Flowers by the Bunch always buy white hydrangeas. They're just less expensive. So we buy white hydrangeas and I buy them year round. I have them on a standing with my with Budsy, our flower provider. And so we only buy white hydrangeas unless I have a special need for another color, because I can always use floral paint to paint them any color I need them to be. And that just saves money. So that's the reason we like to do that. I'm going to grab a floral knife out of my drawer. I'm going to take my knife, cut that stem at an angle, and I'm going to dip it in a quick dip. Quick dip is a hydrating solution. Helps keep your hydrangeas hydrated. So I just dipped it right into that quick dip. I usually count to about 7. Now if you do not have quick dip, you can absolutely use pickling alum. And you can find that at your local grocery store in the over in the seasoning or the canning section. I'm removing the leaves from my stems, most of them, because when the water goes up the stem's just like a straw. And so it drinks that water and it comes up that stem. Well, it's going to stop at the leaves first instead of going directly to the head of the flower. And so that's why I like to pull those leaves off. So it just goes directly to the head. Alright, so there's my hydrangeas. I have them kind of pushed over to one side of my vase. Next we're going to come in with some really fun leaves. Now I'm going to be honest, I got a mixed box of foliage and I do not know all of the types of leaves these are, but I do like them. So this reminds me, and I cannot call the name of the plant, but we always called it a prayer plant, because these leaves, when still on the plant attached, they will roll up, and they call them prayer plants. And then in the morning, during night, they'll roll up and they'll pray, and in the morning they'll open up. So we're going to use a little bit of that. And then this is called fishtail fern, which is kind of fun. So I'm going to take a little bit of this fishtail fern and I'm going to strip off some of those leaves. And I'm going to cut it and kind of tuck it in over here to the side. So I just kind of want a fun look, and we're going to kind of mix, and it's almost kind of like color blocking with the flowers, where we have the hydrangeas and we're going to have callas and roses, and they're just going to kind of be blocks of color. But I'm stripping off the bottom fronds of that fern and just tucking that right in to my container. Look how fun that fern is. So fun. And then we'll add some of our other leaves in just a moment. Next, we're going to come in with a little bit of thistle. So blue thistle, lots of people call it a weed, but it's so pretty and so fun, and so I love its color. It paints really well, so if you ever need it to be another color, you can absolutely paint it and make it a different color if you need it to be. So I'm going to take just several of my stems and kind of tuck there in the center of those hydrangeas. And I've still got a few stems, so I will wait until the end and see where else we might need some more thistle. We'll just hold that to the side. Next, we're going to come in with some Calla lilies. So Calla lilies come in lots of colors, but only the mini callas come in color. If you get a standard calla or a large calla, which is the flower itself is bigger than from the tips of my fingers to the base of my hand, really large bloom. They only come in white and green, but mini callas come in a lot of colors. They'll come in a deep purple that are almost so purple they're black. They come in yellow and red and flame and orange and purples, lots of beautiful colors, also white. But we got a beautiful orange in this week. So what I thought we would do is take several of these stems and gather them together, just like that. And I am going to take a little bit of this bind wire and I am going to kind of wire them together. Now I'm not going to do it very tightly because callas have a very tender stem and so they will damage pretty easily, so you kind of have to be careful with a calla. But I'm going to take that wire and I am just going to very softly wrap that wire right around those stems just to hold them together. I just wanted it to kind of be decorative. I didn't want to use tape or anything that wasn't pretty because it's going to show. So I'm going to take those stems using my floral knife. I'm just going to go ahead and cut those stems. You see how tender that was. It cuts so easily. And what I'm going to do is just take that little bundle of callas and nestle them right down into my arrangement. Just like that. Just kind of fun. I'm going to take my second bundle, which is about 4 stems, and I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to take those, gather them in my hand, take a little bit of bind wire. Now this bind wire is just a paper wrapped wire, and it's by Oasis Floral Products. I want to say, I think we might have bought this on Amazon, but you can buy it at any floral wholesalers usually. I'm going to take that wire and just kind of wrap it softly. I'm not trying to cut those stems around those flowers. And then I'm just twisting those ends just to kind of make them pretty. Okay? And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut those stems with that floral knife. And I'm going to insert them kind of diagonally. Now you just want to make sure they're hitting that water, okay? So just kind of diagonally. Next we're going to come in with some roses. So these are red Freedom roses. So often you will see us design with red heart roses, but this week we got in some Freedoms and they're so pretty and bright and red. So I am going to take those. Now you can do exactly the same thing we did with the callas. I'm going to remove some of that foliage, cut off any of those thorns, and remove any petals that are torn or battered. Whoops, that one broke, so I'm going to set him to the side. I might be able to use him low, but we can certainly use him somewhere. So I'm going to gather probably 5 stems or so. Oh, my nose is itching. I'm going to just kind of gather them just like we did the calla lilies. Just kind of gather them in your hand, okay? And I'm going to do the same exact thing. Take that bind wire. I keep putting my wire snips back away. And I'm going to take that wire and just wrap those stems together. Okay. And then I'm going to take them. My thoughts are, I think I'm going to tuck them pretty low, like right here in the front. So I'm going to take them, take my floral knife, and cut those stems. Nestle those pretty low in that arrangement there. Okay. I'm going to take the few that are left, turn it around. Let's see what else we're going to do. I think we're going to take a little more thistle here in the top. Try to drop that on my toe to give us a little more height there. And then we also have our millet. I'm going to set these to the side. So millet is a grass seed, which I really enjoy working with in the fall. So this millet actually came out of California. Most of the time, I've not been able to find it from the South American farms, but we usually get it out of California. I'm going to strip off a few of the grass blades. And I'm going to kind of tuck some of this millet kind of over to the side. I love the different grass seeds. They're so much fun to work with, and they're so fall. You really think of fall when you see the different grass seed. Now here in Mississippi we do have grass seed, but it's almost like little pom-poms that stand up really pretty. Okay, next we're going to come in with some of these pretty leaves. If you know the name of this leaf, please let me know, because I would love to call it by name. I'm going to take my leaf, cut that stem, and I'm going to kind of nestle it right here underneath my roses. So we're just kind of playing with the different elements, and you can see how I've kind of blocked the color where the roses are all together and the hydrangeas are kind of together. I didn't nestle a lot of our stems down into the hydrangeas, but they're kind of together in their color. And then our callas, and then of course our blue thistle. Just kind of a fun way to design using a little bit of a different style, but just kind of a fun way to make something look a little different. Next I'm going to come with some of these leaves back here in the thistle to just give us a little bit of a solid backing so that you can kind of see that thistle a little better. Have you ever made an arrangement like this? Have you ever made kind of a color blocked arrangement using kind of tropical or fun flowers? It certainly doesn't have to be tropical. I don't know. I don't think I like those leaves, so I'm going to change up. I have a few more types of leaves over here. Let's see about using some of these. I wonder how that would look. Very tropical and pretty. So I'm going to take my leaf, cut that stem at an angle, and nestle that kind of towards the back of that arrangement. Look how fun that is. And it kind of gives it a really good backing. And then we could take another, kind of come off to the side. So just be creative with your foliage and with your flowers. Don't be scared to try something different. If you don't like it, you can always pull it apart. It is not stuck in stone. You can absolutely play with it. I really like this. So look at those fun leaves just kind of tucked in, and to me they just scream it, make it a little more tropical and fun. But there we have it. Here is a rectangle shaped vase in a amber color. I used Calla lilies, and that is about, I think that's 9 stems or 10 stems of orange Calla lilies. I did use some millet, some red freedom roses, and some white hydrangeas that we tinted green, and then some really fun mixed tropical foliage that we got in a mixed box. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about how we do things here at Flowers by the Bunch, please let us know. We'd love to answer your questions. You can always drop that here in the comments. You can email us or send us a message over on Messenger on Facebook. And we are so happy to answer. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Hit that little bell down below and you will get notifications for when we have a new video. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.